just finished reading Gary's book a couple weeks ago, so I've been thinking about it quite deeply. And Gary and I have done some work together with the Alternatives to Violence project at the Edmonton Institution in Edmonton, Mass. I've also done some volunteer work at the Edmonton Institution for Women. So I've, for many years, been thinking about people who are incarcerated and seeing them as human beings. So the poem that I wrote is called "What Does Human Really Mean?" And that is the title of the last chapter of Gary's book. And so I thought about I've just been thinking about all the different ways that we're human. And that's kind of what came out of me. But it's really interesting that Gary read, in 1990, the piece that Gary read, in 1995, I cycled across Canada by myself. And just 1 or 2 days after I got back, I heard that Joanne Dixon had been murdered in the summer. And just like 5 or 6 weeks after I got back, Sheila Salter was murdered. And I drive by the corner where she was abducted every day now, on 115th Avenue. And it really kind of burst my bubble. Those 2 murders had quite an impact on me. I've just finished working on an extensive prose piece to try and get past a writer's block. I'm working on a new project about female alcohol syndrome, and the piece that I wrote has a lot. I write quite a bit about Sheila's and Joanne's murders. So the poem I'm going to read tonight is not specifically about Peter John Brighteyes, but it's about all the ways that we're human in good and bad ways. So it's called "What Does Human Really Mean?" And this is for Gary. We're a mortal mix of blood and guts, brains, brawn, bones, and flesh. We're small, we're medium, and we're large. We come in all sizes and shapes, heights and hues, occupations and preoccupations. We're insiders and outsiders, incarcerated and unconfined, detained and unconstrained. We're fat, we're skinny, we're innocent, and we're guilty. We're speeders and loiterers, and Gary's a speeder, I guess. I read that. We're speeders and loiterers, preachers and perjurers, convicted, condemned, high-minded, and holy. We're jailbirds and free as birds, athletic and arthritic, angelic and heretic. We're murderers and surgeons, all with surnames. We're drug dealers and pharmaceutical distributors, drug users and middlemen, nurses, narcs, neck pushers and pedal pushers, car salesmen and anesthesiologists, cops and crooks, cattle thieves, and bank robbers. That other person is a lot like us. That's in the last sentence. That's actually the last 5 or 6 or 10 words of Gary's book. That other person is a lot like us, says Gary, and I agree. We're plumbers and gynecologists, pediatricians, and gerontologists. We're school minds and charming little miscreants. Estheticians, hairdressers, the homeless, and the working poor. Tree trimmers, mechanics, waiters, and waitresses. Longboarders, snowboarders, hillbilly hoarders, crackerjack quacks, quarterbacks, and happy gone wrong hackers. We're winners and losers, leaders and lackeys and boozers. Voters, politicians, professors, and sad story confessors. We're bureaucrats, working class, and big fat fancy cats. Proletariats, bourgeoisies, capitalists, communists, Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, Jews, agnostics, and atheists. Scientologists, biologists, psychologists. We're upper caste and lower class. We're immigrants and migrants, homebodies and homeboys. We're round dancers, grass dancers, horse dancers, ghost dancers, rain dancers, sun dancers, and chicken dancers. We're Crowfoot and Big Bear and Tecumseh and the tipsy Sir John A. We're Hitler, Stalin, Bashar al-Assad, Harper, George W. Obama. We're Klein, we're Redford, not Robert, but the other one. We're precious and we're not. We're good, we're bad, we're just and we're unjust. We're salt, pepper, turmeric, curry, cardamom, garlic, and ginseng. We're the smell of lilacs and lavender and roses, black opium, that adolescent axe, cologne, and cannabis. We're the faithful, the faithless, the graceful, the graceless, the heartfelt, and the heartless. Poor, rich, sober, addicted, revolved, robust, fit, and afflicted. Pursers and cursers, buskers and cussers. Topsy-turvy, tippers, swarthy and curvy. We're less than our best and we're better than our nastiest. We're fickle and freckled, pimpled and dimpled, frumpy and dumpy. Rowdy young rugrats, dowdy old bluebeards. Hairy and hairless, we're warty and hardy and we sure like to party. We're long-haired and bald, bewhiskered and buffed. We're dapper and scruffy, brindled and puffy. We're mixed-raced, straight-laced, outfoxed and outpaced. We're black, we're white. We're red and yellow, we're brown and all colors in between. We're right-handed, Jerry's left-handed. Ambidextrous, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, straight, and crooked. We speak English and French, Arabic, Amharic, Cree, and Cherokee, and 6 or 7 or 8,000 other languages. Some of us are tongue-tied. Somebody stole some of our languages. Somebody stole some of our tongues. And some of us speak with our hands and our eyes, and our smiles and our knees and our knuckles. We equivocate, we prevaricate, exaggerate. We underestimate and flatulate, which wasn't a verb until I just made it one. We lie, we steal, we die, and we feel. We hope and we pray all the livelong day. We're wise and we're foolish, we read and we don't read. We're old and young, aged and middle-aged. Careless. Some of us are caged for our reckless transgressions. Some of us walk free, some of us sit in prison. Some of us got away with it, and some of us didn't. Bosses and bootlickers, hipsters and hucksters. We're peacemakers and warmongers. We're lifers and loafers, haters and lovers. We're accountants and miners, oil execs and loggers. We're songwriters, novelists, poets, and bloggers. And if we're brave like Gary, we'll dally in the shadows, delight in the night. We'll write a book, tell our truth, return to the light, and pass along our speaking stone. Co-conspirators will collude when we see ourselves reflected. In the light of the eyes of the other. When we clasp the warmth of the other's hand, when we mind the other's truth with due regard, we recognize ourselves in the other. And we know we're not other to each other. Instead, we are two of a kind, two and many more of the human kind. This is just a small bit of what it means to be really human. We're another with each other because we all are blue and we all bleed red. Thank you. I forgot to thank Gary. It's such an honor to respond to the book. And Margaret, thank you so much for having me be involved. Holy Trinity Church, the Edmonton Arts Council does so much. They're helping me with my project, and all of you.